Howdy folks, Randy the Prepared Christian. We're out here taking a walk in the woods today. Beautiful day, probably about 70 degrees, nice little breeze, sunshine, and towards the end of August, and woods is starting to produce some good forage right now. We're out here looking for some hickory nuts today, and I think we'll take a look at the pawpaws, see how the pawpaws are going to be this fall. We got about another month before they start ripening up, but let's take a look at what's going on and just have some fun here and walk around the woods. We're out here on the edge of the bean field at the woods. I'm gonna head into the woods, but right now we got a couple hickory trees close here on the edge, and I don't know if you can see, but there's some pieces laying here on the ground where the squirrels have been eating on the hickory nuts, and a couple of hickory nuts, and so we're picking them up and putting them in the bucket, and hopefully we'll get us a nice bucket of hickory nuts and carry it back up to the house. But we're going to look at the pawpaws and try to get us a bucket full of hickory nuts. Alright, we got some serious mushrooms growing on this old red oak here, and I am not a mushroom guy. I know what morels look like and pheasant backs, but I am not sure what these are yet, but I'm sure somebody will tell me in the comments. And I know this woods, people used to, when my grandpa owned it, people used to always come in here and ask permission to mushroom hunt. Supposed to be some really good ones in here, but I'm not 100% sure what these are. So we'll be finding out what they are, and leave me a comment. Let me know if you know. So just you can kind of see the mushrooms back there through the canopy, and just in front of that, a big old shagbark hickory, probably 70-80 feet tall. And down underneath we got hickory nuts. Now these are the bigger ones that we have in the woods. We got smaller ones. I'm going to give a size comparison here in just a bit. Alright, here is a size comparison. We got these smaller ones on the right, and the ones on the left are the ones that I just showed you the tree. We're under the tree that's putting out the smaller ones now, and there's quite a few of them, quite a few more of them around. There is another variety that puts out even bigger nut, and from what I've read, we don't have any, but they're more bitter. Both of these are very sweet and good tasting. Some store-bought pecans that I've had are not as good as what these hickory nuts are, but I've also had ones that people grow good in their backyards in the south, and hickory nuts ain't as good as those pecans, but hickory nuts are pretty good. So I'm going to try to get the bucket full, and then we're going to go look for some pawpaws. Well, here we are in the jungle, and we were at this spot in my pawpaw video from last fall. I'll link that up in the corner there, but there were no pawpaws here, as this patch is a little earlier than the other one. But we look up, and what do we see? Alright, hey, there's a triple of the pawpaws. I'm focused in, so I'm a little shaky, but there's a triple. There's a whole bunch of them up high in this patch. Well, here's a nice little clear spot in the woods. No ground cover, so to speak. It's easy walking. Nice mushroom of some sort there. You can look around. Got some deep dark stuff to walk through, but I'm not going to get a full bucket. I haven't said anything on here before, but since Thanksgiving or Christmas, I've been having health problems, having neurologic problems, haven't been able to walk very good and feeling numb and weak, and doctors haven't found anything wrong with me yet, but it's making doing anything difficult. And I've walked about halfway through my woods and I'm pretty much shaky and almost can't walk anymore, so I'm gonna try to pick my way over to the other pawpaw patch where we get a whole bunch of them. Try to count what I can find there. I think I might have said I counted about 20 or 25 in that first patch, and we'll catch up with you there. Walking through here to another patch of hickory trees. We've got, I don't know if I said, but I think called shellbark hickory. And if you look, you can see bark on there looks like it's peeling off. That one's about 10 inches in diameter. There's one back there, middle of the screen, the far one. It's about foot to 14 inches in diameter. And there's a far one over there that's probably close to 2 feet in diameter. We're going to look around on the ground here and see what we can find. I'm looking here and not seeing a lot under this little one, but the squirrels have been cleaning up a lot of them. Yeah, there's a one right there, and you can see, oh yeah, there's some more right over there. Yep, we'll pick up more. There's one over there. We'll pick up some more here, and that then we'll probably head to that patch of pawpaws, which is right behind me, and then we'll go out in the field and say goodbye. There's a little something I wanted to show you. That this is from last year. This is an old shell of a nut. You see that hole? There's lots of holes in there, and that's a little moth or butterfly. It lays their eggs in the blossom, and the shell forms around it. And when they mature, they eat their way out of the shell and go fly around. But when you crack open some of these hickory nuts, you're going to find 2 little grubs in them, and that's always disappointing. But make great little fishing bait. But usually in the fall when you're hunting, if see, this is towards the end of August, but you know, October and stuff like that, you'll find whole hickory nuts laying on the ground. But you get to that point and about 90% of them probably have these worms in them, because the squirrels pick them up and they apparently hear the worms munching away inside or something, and they just toss them on the ground. So that's why it's you'll find lots of hickory nuts later in the year, but you know, a lot of them won't be good. So just wanted to show you that if you pick up hickory nuts that got a hole in them like this, there ain't no nuts in them. Okay, I'm in the other patch where I did most of the pawpaw videos, picked them. I got some, oh, I don't know if you can see that one hanging there, clear down there, and there's pawpaws everywhere. I don't know how well you can see them in the video, but I quit counting at 50. There's a considerable amount. There's some up above my head and behind me and through the woods more. And I bet there's a good 100 of them here in this spot. So pawpaws are going to come in. These ones are a little smaller than the ones over in that other patch. So I say I've never gotten any out of that other patch. So I'm assuming that they're going to come in, be ripe first, and then these will come in a couple weeks later, because it sure seems like they're ahead of these. I don't think I've given you guys this shot before. This is, if you walk in a straight line ahead, that's where I started out this video, through the woods and over on our other field. And you go all the way down there. That's the corner of our woods. that little patch of trees to the left of that and that gap, that's where I was sitting on my hunting videos from a couple of falls ago. And this patch of soybeans right here, this is our field. And then you get over to that line of corn, that's our property line. And it goes along this. This is just a tree fence line right here, but soybeans runs down to that corn down there, a couple hundred yards. And that's the far corner of our field. We own halfway into this woods in that direction, about a straight line in that direction, probably another 150, 200 yards. So yeah, we got half of that woods. And I'm standing under another hickory tree that's in this fence line, and there's a couple here on the ground I'm going to pick up, but I'm pretty shaky and not able to bend over very good, so I'm going to head back to the house. These hickory nuts are, this is what I ended up picking up. Pick those up, and those are going to go on the porch for a few days at least to let them dry out, and then I'll start shelling them. And we'll get us some hickory nuts, maybe make a hickory nut pie or use them for something good, because they sure are good. So thanks for coming with me. I want you guys to have a glorious day and enjoy what God's given you. Till next time, take care.